Good morning. Welcome to the Parenting Versus podcast.
I wish we could do like a hip hop intro and be like, yo, what up, hey.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too genuine though.
Yeah, they'd be like, wait, what? This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And again, it's a they, all of them.
Okay.
Well, it's a free podcast, so you get what you pay for, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, so how's your morning?
So far so good. Can't complain. I'm here with a giant cozy blanket, 2 loud dogs, a cup of coffee. Oh my gosh. And of course they're going to fight now. Like,
They're wrestling.
I know, but this is like so typical. Kids are in the other room, in the playroom. And we have, like the good parents that we are, we got a trial of YouTube TV for free for this week. And so our kids are like enjoying the hell out of some Disney Channel, because we don't usually have that. So they are occupied for the moment. And we are just chilling here, having some coffee and, doing life. It's really nice weather in Albuquerque lately. I know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna start with the weather, I guess. But it's been really warm and beautiful. And so spring is definitely here, which makes me happy.
They say we're supposed to get some snow though.
What?
This week.
What? This week?
Mm-hmm. Not in Albuquerque, but in New Mexico. Like probably Santa Fe, mountains for sure.
Oh my gosh. Well, so much for everything I just said.
Yeah. But I don't know, the YouTube TV thing is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if we'll keep it, but it's got TV channels.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's like current TV channels, so you can kind of watch and keep up with things. And I like the record feature, so you can like record things if you miss them.
It's like a quote unquote DVR, I guess. It's not, you're not actually recording things, I guess, but
you can play them back.
You can play them back, yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so I got I recorded the Star Wars movie that's gonna come up on Monday on TBS. So
cool.
I don't know if you want to watch that, but
we've seen it, but I might watch it again. I don't know. Yeah, so Easter's around the corner. I was just thinking about Easter baskets and like, oh man, parent time. Time to get real for those.
Easter's a really weird
Easter
weird
basket
time.
things.
I grew up like just celebrating Easter. I mean, I think it's pretty common for people. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's like
well, yes, Easter is pretty common for a lot of people.
Just like the pastels and the Easter egg hunts and for me it was silk shirts.
Yeah, silk shirts.
Yeah, every year for Easter my mom would buy us silk shirts.
Okay.
Like that was the one day of the year we wore silk.
Did you guys also play smooth jazz?
I don't know, but there's a picture somewhere of me and my brother having all matching silk shirts. And I remember thinking, like, this material is amazing.
Happy Easter to me.
It is soft. But it's just...
I learned something new about you today.
The way that we celebrate Easter has nothing to do with celebrating, like, Jesus.
Actual Easter? Actual, like, religious Easter?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's put a bunny out there and then some eggs and, like, candy and pastels. Let's do pastels.
Yeah. And... the way that churches in town celebrate Easter is a little bit weird to me, too. We were talking about this last night.
Yeah.
Like, selling out stadiums and putting up billboards and, like...
Like Easter extravaganza.
Yeah. And
it's like a big hype fest.
Yeah.
It really is.
And then I won't say the church or anything, but like on my Facebook feed, it was like, hot air balloon rides, win a TV. And I was like...
You're like, what?
Okay.
Because nothing says celebrating Jesus like winning a big screen TV. I mean,
right.
I guess you can tie that into like Christmas too. People get crazy. But yeah, it's whether you're religious or not, I think the point is not to like overhype the holiday and make it like a commercial thing.
Right.
Or a consumer driven thing.
I think for sure churches are businesses though.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah,
You got to think about like some of their like meetings that they have. And they probably talk about how do we get more people in, but more people translate into more tithers, and that means more money for the church. Like, what can we do? Hey, we got more tithers this year. We can raise your salary. Blah blah blah. I
don't know. I don't think all churches are like that, but I definitely see a trend. You know.
Yeah.
In fact, I know all churches aren't like that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I do see a trend in the American church where it's becoming like business oriented.
It feels like a business.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And
that's
I think
true.
if it's a business, I think it loses its point. So,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, anyways. So we have a new roof. I think we talked about that last time. I'm really excited.
Are we?
I'm excited. No, really. Like, I am excited for our new roof. Like, that is 30 years of things I do not have to worry about.
So that roof was as old as us, basically.
Yeah. That's kind of terrifying if you think about it.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were 30 years old and you'd never been to the doctor. That, like, our roof was 30 years old and had never...
Our roof just got killed and replaced with a younger roof.
I know.
I'm glad they don't do that to humans.
Not yet, anyway.
Should I turn this off?
I'm just kind of, like, wondering why you have it on.
I thought maybe it could be a talking point. On our YouTube TV,
It's Fox, though.
I put on Fox and Friends for fun. Because I've never
not
seen
fun.
it. And I guess the president watches this all the time.
This is very ADD. Like, the format is, like, I'm, like, sitting here watching it on mute, and it's, like, all over the place. And it's really stressing me out.
Huh. Well, let me change it.
I'm like, I can't really handle, like, this format. And that lady's hair is not real for sure.
Who is she?
I don't know.
Trump, tariffs on China could total $60 billion.
Okay, let's just turn this off. This is a good day.
Yeah.
Let's turn this. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we had our anniversary last week.
Mm-hmm. 10 years of marriage.
Not 10.
8.
No.
9.
Oh my gosh, it was last week. Oh my goodness.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure you are.
But it was fun.
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years of
for real,
marriage.
though.
This is the first year we didn't, like, go somewhere.
And travel, yeah.
We didn't travel. Like,
We usually do, but it was nice. It was a really nice change. Like,
I had a good time.
yeah.
So I was looking at the picture of us. We took a selfie next to the rainbow fence downtown.
It's a thing to do.
Yeah. I guess it's a thing to do, right? I don't know. But we did it.
People do it a lot.
And I was wearing a shirt. Well, of course I was wearing a shirt, but I was wearing...
What? You wear clothing when you
It was
go
my
out?
anniversary. You know, I might have just...
Put a shirt on. Was it a silk shirt?
Just might have wanted... Should have been.
Right.
No, I was wearing a shirt that I wore to our anniversary that we had 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I
It
didn't
was
even-
the...
Wow.
It was 2 years ago. It was 2015. You were pregnant with Riley. Were you pregnant with Riley? No, you were not pregnant. Riley was just born.
No, I would have been very pregnant with Riley.
No, because Riley's almost 3.
Oh. So it would have been Juliet then. Because she'll be 2. We're terrible at math.
You might not have been pregnant. I don't know.
It's hard to decipher because I was pregnant for a long time there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
I don't know. Let me go check.
Yeah, well, okay. So we went to this French restaurant downtown called Le Troquet. I don't know how to say it correctly because I don't speak French. But it used to be Petit Louis. It's downtown on Gold and what's the cross street? Like First? Oh my gosh, here we go.
And second, I think.
Here come the troops, guys. Making cow noises. Back to reality. This is our life. Yeah, so we went to a French restaurant and we saved up some money and really kind of were like, we're going to order whatever we want. And so Lorenzo had filet mignon and it was incredible. And I had lamb shank with these potatoes that were like melt in your mouth amazing. The chef is actually French, which is nice. We had some wine and it was just really nice, really different night than we normally have. When you talk about bang for your buck, as far as like a really good meal, that was a really good meal. We probably dropped about $100, but it was totally worth it. It was all of it. Like, it was just incredible. Like, we're still talking about how incredible it was. So
Yeah.
it was just really good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
No, but the shirt I was wearing was the same shirt I wore to our anniversary 2 years ago because I was looking at my Google photos of just like our past anniversaries. And there's a picture of me and you. I'm wearing the same shirt. And we're in front of the Hotel Santa Fe
Yeah.
because we stayed there. We stayed at the Hacienda Suites.
Yeah. It's a good spot.
That was awesome. That
Yeah.
was amazing. Like, we got a really good deal. I'm all about deals.
Yeah.
But we got a really good deal.
That is an amazing hotel in that they have like it's like Uber before Uber was Uber.
Oh yeah,
For the hotel.
They have those little like British little taxi cab things,
And they'll take you around town and pick you up like from the hotel for free if you're a guest. And so that was cool. And we didn't do French that year. We did Italian in Santa Fe. Remember?
We did. It was a nice restaurant. I remember.
I'm trying to remember the name. It was so good.
No, but they also had an open bar like on the rooftop of that place.
Hotel, yeah. Oh my gosh, they were like, "Join us for happy hour. Here's your drink vouchers," and we were like,
yeah,
"Oh,
and like
okay."
you could just have as many as you want, and then they also had these really nice like appetizer
cheeses and nuts and berries and things.
But we had a dinner date, so we didn't stay there very long. I would have stayed there longer, but and they even had like Santa Fe on tap. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing. We are privileged enough to have a lot of perspective on places in Santa Fe, I think, because we used to live there, for one. I mean, we were kind of broke when we lived there, but Lorenzo's from there. We used to live there, and then, we try to, when we have anniversaries or special occasions, we try to spend the night in a different Santa Fe hotel every time so we can kind of see. And we've been privileged enough to be able to kind of check out.
I think that might have been my favorite hotel.
The best part of Santa Fe. Really?
Yeah. We stayed at the El Dorado one year.
Overrated.
Yeah, it's like a pretty nice courtyard Marriott. The rooms. The lobby was amazing.
Yeah, the lobby and the bar are worth your time. Like if you're going to go have a really upscale drink and listen to some music and relax, the lobby and the bar at El Dorado are beautiful. But once you get to the rooms, it's like they kind of just were like, we've already impressed you enough. Here's your room. I don't know. I felt like it was really overpriced for what it was.
Yeah.
I like the Hotel St. Francis. That's still my favorite. I would give them...
in Kansas City?
No, Hotel St. Francis.
Oh.
In Santa Fe.
No, I was thinking Hotel Phillips.
Yeah.
Okay. St. Francis. Oh, I think that might have been the one with the most character. There's a really small room. I don't even think it had a bathroom. No, it did have a bathroom.
Tiny bathroom.
Tiny bathroom.
But the bathtub in the bathroom had these like French doors. Well, it was like a windowsill. But the bathtub had these like French windows that opened up so you could take a bath and overlooked like the skyline of the city. It was gorgeous. Yeah. They have amazing cocktails.
Yeah.
At the bar there, hand muddled, crafted cocktails, really good. So Hotel St. Francis was definitely the most character for sure.
And it's been out of our price range ever since.
I know. I would love to go back. It's just, they have an amazing thing going on. They're part of the Heritage Hotel series, so there's a few in New Mexico that are part of that, but I think you can get discounts.
That new hotel in Old Town, Albuquerque, is going to be part of that same...
It's open. Chaco?
Is it open?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Hotel Chaco? Yeah, I think they have a bar I'd like to check out too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've seen a few good hotels. And then, Kansas City, is our second anniversary? Mm-hmm. Was that our second?
Yeah.
Or
that
first?
Was awesome.
It was amazing.
I have good memories of that little trip.
So, that hotel, we got in at a good time. I was looking at it recently.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's this Art Deco hotel that had gotten shut down. I don't know. It was like back in the 40s or 50s. It was closed. Mm-hmm. It was closed for decades. Somebody bought it and
I would
renovated
venture to
it.
guess 70s and 80s.
I don't know.
Because, anyways.
Doesn't matter. Point is, it had not been used for a long time. Somebody bought it and renovated it and returned it to its original era. So everything was Art Deco, but it looked brand new. It's called the Hotel Phillips. It's in Kansas City, Missouri. It's near the Power and Light District. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. And we got this great hotels.com deal our second year. We lived in Missouri, so we drove to Kansas City and we got this hotel and we stayed there and I was taking a bath. I like to take baths, by the way. And I guess the bathtub was leaking to the room below it. And so they knocked on the door and they were like, "We're so sorry. We're going to have to move your rooms," but they comped us. And then they gave us vouchers to this 5-star breakfast restaurant in the hotel. So the next day we got this amazing brunch for free. It was awesome. It was just an incredible experience. And then it snowed. It was the first day of spring and it snowed in Kansas City. So we woke up in this amazing Art Deco hotel with snow everywhere outside. But it was just awesome. Yeah, and I looked at the hotel recently, and the price is $300, $400 a night. So we must have gotten in right as they were trying to relaunch and open, because now it's way out of our price range.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a
super
good.
Fun.
We didn't really know too much about the area, the city, but I remember it was spring break, and there's this area of downtown Kansas City. That
Power and Light District.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They're trying to appeal to spring breakers. You know what I mean? So they had loud music and
Well, they're
MTV
trying
on the
to,
screens.
To revamp the city and kind of give it a new life and define neighborhoods and districts and make it more gentrified, I guess.
Yeah. We weren't really into that though. I remember sitting at an outdoor table somewhere, and there was like college. I mean, I guess I was just out of college, but I was still a little bit older.
Yeah.
But
like 27.
It didn't really appeal to me, that area. I wanted something more original, like classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember we were looking for, and this must have been before Google.
What?
I don't.
No.
I mean, Google existed, but like, this must have been before we had smartphones. We did not have a smartphone.
I don't think so. No, we just had to look it up on the internet and like.
I brought my computer with me, my laptop,
was like, good luck.
in the room.
Write the address
Isn't that
down.
crazy how things change?
Yeah, quickly.
But we were really looking for a barbecue place.
Yeah.
And we were walking around.
In the snow.
It wasn't like sticking. It was like
It was chilly and flurry.
There were flakes.
Yeah.
But imagine if we would have had a smartphone back then with us. We could have just looked up barbecue, looked up reviews. Oh, here it is. But no, we were wandering around downtown looking for a barbecue place. And we ended up going to Dave and
Famous Dave's. Which is a chain, and it's totally not like original Kansas City barbecue, but it was fine.
It was fun. Like, we enjoyed ourselves, and it was whatever.
Yeah.
And then we watched Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
In 3D.
In 3D. And that was like, I think the first 3D movie I'd really ever
That was the
seen.
first 3D movie I saw.
It was a nice theater too. It was funny. I remember we were like, well, this is kind of expensive. And then we were like, whoa, this is crazy.
So this reminds me of something, and we were talking about this a lot the other night. So we've been married for 9 years. Mm-hmm. We've lived in 3 different cities, right?
Yeah.
But I was really remembering Missouri. I was like reminiscing of Missouri. Was that our second or third year of marriage? Second. So we got married in 2009. Mm-hmm. Lived in Albuquerque for a little bit. Lived in Santa Fe for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then decided that we wanted to go to Missouri. Lindsay wanted to finish her college at a Bible college there.
Which I didn't.
Yeah.
I think also part of it was that we wanted to try to define our marriage and our relationship together without the influence of family.
So Santa Fe was, I thought Santa Fe was amazing. We had a good, I mean, minus it was the middle of the biggest recession in a long time.
Yeah.
Money wasn't easy to come by.
We had a great little apartment though.
We had a good little apartment. We were getting by.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like family was there and stuff.
Well, we've talked about this on the podcast before. I mean, it's culturally that adjustment from like me growing up in Portland with a upper middle class white family, in Lake Oswego, and then Lorenzo growing up in a big Hispanic family where cultural values are very different and family is looked at very differently.
Do you think that was a bad decision?
To move?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think it made us stronger in a lot of areas. And we also... Oh, man, guys. I think it made us stronger in a lot of areas, but it also made us realize the value of our families and that there is strength in their differences. I had a hard time with, like, when we lived in Santa Fe, Lorenzo's family is very close. They're very close-knit. We lived in a little cul-de-sac where his family has lived for like 100 years. No kidding. All the houses were part of his family at one time. They've all kind of been sold off and revamped, and there's still a lot of extended family that live there. So it never really felt like my house because people were always kind of in and out of our space because it had always been their space. And so it was hard to adjust to that. I get that that is a cultural thing, and now I actually really like that. I totally get why people would live with their extended family in the same area, like on a compound or like, in the same neighborhood. Like, I get it now that I have kids, but at the time, it was just really hard to adjust to. It was hard for me being this like random white girl thrown into a big Hispanic family and not having any context before, so.
If I look at us moving to Missouri, like in a logical sense.
Kind of flipped it on you a little, huh?
What do you mean?
Well, like we went from having family all around us all the time, like in our business, to like nobody.
Yeah. But also, I feel like I think it was a very bad decision, financially. We had no support.
Yeah. We were really poor.
Like
really poor.
Yeah, in Santa Fe, minimum wage at the time was like $10.50 or something.
Yeah.
We moved to Missouri, and I was working at Starbucks, so I was getting minimum wage.
$6.85.
Yeah. So I basically got a pay cut, like a huge pay cut, and our rent was more. It sucked. Financially, we were.
I was making above minimum, and it was like $8.
But you weren't getting hours.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, but I feel like us living in Missouri and dealing with that hard stuff, finances, like we're broke. What do? We have no money. What do we do? How do we stretch, $10 for a week? Seriously. Like that's where we were at. We don't have any gas. How are we going to budget out this gas for an entire week? What are we going to do? Like, how are we going to make this happen? It was hard. But at the same time, I think that we learned to depend more on each other than we would have had we stayed in Santa Fe, because in Santa Fe, we were living in an amazing apartment. It was like $400 a month. I mean, and that's not Santa Fe prices. That's just because his dad, Lorenzo's parents, own the property. So they gave us a really good price cut, So we went from not having to really have that financial pressure to like all of a sudden having it all and not having enough money to cover it. And it was crazy, but I feel like we kind of depended on each other more. And we had some really bad fights. I mean, the first year of marriage over money, over time, over everything. But we made it, and we're here, and it's been 9 years.
Yeah, if you ever think about moving to Missouri, rural Missouri, rural Missouri, don't do it.
All right, well, okay. If you like gravy, it might be for you. If you like tractors and cornfields, it might be for you. Mm-hmm. If you like
ice on your car
that doesn't come off and you have to try to chip away at it so you can get in your car, it might be for you.
If you like Trump's America,
it might be for you.
Yeah.
But there were some good things about Missouri too. Like I love Columbia, Missouri, where Mizzou is. It's a great city.
Even in Columbia, I had a weird, I don't know, it was a weird vibe though. I don't know. Columbia was nice, but I would never live there.
I like it. It's a college town. Yeah. I like the scenery in Missouri too. It's very green.
Here's what I did like about Missouri. Thunderstorms were really cool. Mm-hmm. Like it rained a lot, and I enjoy rain, so the rain was fun. That was pretty fun. I don't know.
You want a golfing bag?
I want a golfing bag. Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking about the times that we had in Missouri and how hard it was to not have any friends, have zero friends. I was alone a lot, hanging out by myself. For a while, we couldn't afford internet, so I had no internet. We didn't really have much, you know what I mean? So I went to the library a lot. I would check out books at the library. I remember in Missouri, I read the Richard Dawkins book. I can't remember what it was called. God Delusion. Yeah, I read the God Delusion.
What?
So, okay, we're gonna do a parenting pause.
Fine.
Okay, we're back. While you were taking care of the kids and while we were both taking care of the kids, I was talking about Missouri and how incredibly alone I felt.
Yeah.
It was just, I felt like I was almost in a dream. It was weird. We were too poor to have the internet.
Yeah.
That was we I mean, there's nothing in Moberly, right? There's a Walmart.
It's super fancy, guys.
There's a couple of restaurants here and there, but it's like not awesome.
It was an old railroad town / prison town, so there is not a lot there.
Yeah, it was, like bigger than the town I grew up, Moriarty, but it was smaller than, I would say it's about the size of like Las Lunas or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, no movie theater, nothing like that. I had zero.
There's a movie theater.
Is there a movie theater? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there is a movie theater. Yeah, they have a drive-in screen and like 2 indoor screens.
Yeah.
But I had 0 friends, nobody to hang out with. I mean, I tried to reach out to the people at your school. Didn't really connect with anybody. I don't know. I think it's hard for guys to connect with each other. Like guys are really shy when it comes to that. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't like it. I mean, it was an experience. Way to be an optimist there. No, it was an experience that like I won't give back. You know what I mean? It was a good experience, but it was hard. Mm-hmm.
Can something be difficult and good?
Yeah, I think so. I'm never gonna forget like my experiences with Moberly, Missouri. It was just.
I think it was good for the simple fact that it got you out of New Mexico for a while and out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, like I always wanted to like at least try living somewhere else, and this was nice. Like, if I could go back, would I change the city? I would love to like spend that time in Portland or something like that where I can find a job. Also, it was really nice that a couple of our friends actually visited us out there.
Yeah.
Like, our friend Joe came out and visited us. Sean came and visited us. It was actually during spring break. Sean came and visited us.
Or Sean came from New York City to Moberly.
Yeah, I think he needed some time,
some quiet,
to hang out,
escape.
Some quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spring break. Moberly. We're calling it Moberly Spring Break, 2009 or 2010. Yeah. Yeah, and we actually went to some bars, me and Sean.
Yeah.
In Moberly, and we got some looks.
Therein lies your first mistake.
We got some looks in Moberly.
Yeah.
It was just uncomfortable.
It's a good old boys town. I mean, it's a small town, and I think probably the very same people go to the same bars at the same times. And so when a brown man, who's not like a black guy, and they're trying to figure out who you are and what are you doing in Moberly, and you walk into a bar.
Well, I look very Middle Eastern, so they probably thought maybe I was one of them.
Paris?
One of them Muslims from Colombia coming up here. I don't know. It was an experience, and it was a good experience. I have a lot of memories. I remember a lot from that period. But I don't know. I'm happy where we are now. Mm-hmm. So 9 years.
9 years and counting. Yeah, it's weird. There's days where it feels like it's been a really long time that we've been married, and then there's days where it doesn't feel that long. Mm-hmm. And then I think, oh wow, we have 3 kids. Like, how did that happen? But like, where did the time go? We don't need to. I think
we might have to call it.
No, I think you just need to let her in here and let her hang out with us.
I don't want to let
She'll
her
be
in.
All right. Yeah, our third anniversary. I'm sorry. We ended up going to New York City. That was our 3rd anniversary. We went to New York. We visited Sean, actually, our friend that came to visit us in Missouri. We went and visited him in New York City, and that was a fun time too. That was a really fun time. I had never been to New York until that point, and I can say with confidence that New York is an interesting place. It's not somewhere that I would live. I enjoy visiting, but I don't think I could live there. It's just too much stimulation for me.
New York City?
Yeah, that was our 3rd anniversary. And
could you imagine raising kids there?
No, that would be crazy. That would be so crazy. But I guess if you're used to it, it wouldn't be that nuts. I don't know. I mean, it was cool. Like, my first experience in New York was definitely like a intense New York experience. We flew into LaGuardia. We took the subway from the airport to Sean's neighborhood. He lived in Flatbush, and we stayed at the McKibben Lofts, and it's where our buddy Sean lived. And if you know anything about the McKibben Lofts, I cannot talk. That was like a little hipster camp out spot for for people. It was kind of the deal for a while there in Brooklyn. And so we stayed there. Hi, Juliet.
Our daughter's going to join us.
That's fine. Come here.
Juliet, or better known as Jujubee.
Or Juju.
Or Juju.
Yeah. You want to say something, Jujubee?
No, she just...
Wants to snuggle, I know.
She just wants to be the favorite.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so we stayed at the McKibben Lofts, and then we...
Milk.
She wants milk.
Okay.
All right. I'll continue this. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so we stayed at the McKibben Lofts. We ended up, because Sean's birthday was while we were there. And we ended up, he had a murder mystery birthday party. So that was pretty fun. We did that, and then we ended up going out and meeting some people and just kind of exploring the city. It was cool. Yeah, I had a good time. Hi, Juliet. And then...
Mama.
Yes. Did you need to say something? Say thank you. Oh. And then, yeah, so our anniversary story from New York City, though, is pretty funny. It's funny because we can look back at it now and laugh, but at the time it was so not funny.
Right.
Like...
So this is after Missouri. We moved back to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
I remember we lived off of Truman, kind of by Highland right now.
Yeah.
And I made reservations for a hotel in Manhattan.
The Hudson Hotel.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was super excited. I got a really good deal on it. And we were staying with Sean most of the trip to save money. But then on our anniversary night, we decided we wanted to get in a hotel and, just to enjoy our time together. But we go in to check in. We're super happy. We have our bags, our luggage. Everything's ready to go. And the clerk lady, she's like, okay, what's your name? What's your phone number? She's like, I don't have a reservation for you. I'm really sorry. I was like, well, I made it on, I don't know, one of the websites. I think it was like Priceline or something.
Yeah.
She's like, well, maybe give them a call and take a look and see what's going on. And of course, this is, again, we don't have smartphones.
Right. Yeah, there's no way to check it.
There's no way to check it. So I sat in the lobby. I had my laptop, so I connected on my laptop. Looked at my email, the confirmation, and our anniversary is March 20th. Mm-hmm. I set the reservation for February 20th. And I set the reservation in like January or December. Like, we were planning this for a long time. So it was my bad. Okay, Juliet.
She has a lot to say today.
Yeah, let's put the... Yes, okay. So I set the reservation a month in advance. So
somebody got a good deal on that room last minute.
Somebody just... Yeah, that was the Hudson did. We paid them money for nobody...
an empty hotel room.
For nobody to sleep in there.
Yeah.
So that was a big, huge bummer. And of course, story of our lives, like, we didn't have a lot of money. I was like, I don't know what to do. We're in Manhattan, and...
With our luggage.
With
Nowhere
our
to
luggage.
go.
I guess we could have called Sean.
He was at work, though. I mean...
Yeah, we could have called Sean and said, hey, dude, we don't have any place to go. We got to go back to your apartment. We could have done that. But instead, we called my dad. My dad's been, like, our safety net for our whole marriage, which is kind of sad. But we got a hotel at some other place in Manhattan. And it was a weird hotel. It had, like, an L-shaped floor plan, and there was 2 beds on either side. It wasn't that nice. Our window opened up to like a back alley.
It was a brick wall.
It was a brick wall
in my face.
But it was Manhattan or whatever, and like we tried to make the best of it, but we ended up fighting all night.
Well, it was like one of those things where we were just tired and cranky, and we were done. Like, we were like, we just need to put this luggage down somewhere. And then we got to the hotel, and it was already paid for because Lorenzo's dad took care of it. And they're like, well, we need the deposit. Yeah, and we're like, deposit? What are you talking about?
We need $100 in cash deposit. And I was like, I don't have any cash.
Kidding? Like, we've literally already paid for the
So I had to
room
call my dad
last
again.
month.
I was like, hey, Dad, that sucked.
We had to go find an ATM, take out $100 at like, I don't even know.
Bring it back. It was just awful. So.
And then we ended up going to Little Italy, trying to have a nice, like, sort of romantic dinner, and we just ended up arguing.
Yeah.
So I would like to redo our New York experience maybe for our anniversary sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, Little Italy I like, but we did not have a good time. We were pissed. It was just not a good time. We can laugh about it now, so that's good.
Yeah.
No juju. But it's comical to think about it.
Oh.
Whoa.
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 Show me what.
You gonna read a book? Book.
Read a book.
She says, put it right there.
Mm-hmm. She's like, put it right there. I want to go play with electricity.
No.
What is that?
No idea. Oh, it's a Kinder Egg.
Cool. Man, our kids are finding all the good stuff today that I didn't know was still around.
So maybe we should change the subject. Easter and anniversary and marriage is fun and everything. Is there anything new in our world? I mean, news is kind of crazy. News is
Isn't
news.
it always?
Oh, I was in Old Town yesterday taking the kids to the aquarium, and there was crazy traffic everywhere. And I was wondering, what the heck is going on? Some kind of event? I saw the helicopter circling. I was like, what is going on?
There was like a rally or something, wasn't there?
Yeah. Well, we ended up taking Coors and taking like the back route. When we got there, I asked the lady, I was like, is there some sort of event happening in the Old Town area? She's like, well, we have our model train exhibit. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that draws a ton of crowds.
Which was really cool, but I don't think,
it's not like the masses turn out for that, especially in Albuquerque.
And as I was driving away, I was like, oh yeah, it was the March for Our Lives rally in downtown.
Yeah.
A lot of the teachers at my school were talking about going to that.
Which I wish I could have gone to. I had to work yesterday. But
Mom.
yes.
I did.
Okay, all done.
Okay. So there was that.
Mom.
So there's, good Lord.
Mom. It's Thursday.
You're lucky you're so cute, Juliet. Done. She
Okay.
says she's pretending.
You get special privileges. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes. She's the baby and she's stinking cute. Bye. See you later.
Go tell Riley.
She's crazy.
Okay.
She's gonna get away with a lot in life.
She already does.
That worries me.
Which one was that?
She already does. So. All right. Well, this might be a filler episode.
Yeah. So March for Our Lives, though, I want to hear more about that because I really did want to go, and it was like I had to work. I couldn't go. I didn't even get a chance to really get any information on how it went.
Well, I don't know about how Albuquerque turned out, but the march in Washington,
Huge.
is huge. Yeah,
Nice.
hundreds of thousands of people. The main spokesperson from the Stoneman Douglas High School, Emily, I think her name is.
Yeah, I know what she looks like. I just don't remember her name.
I think her name's Emily. She had a speech that everybody was saying was powerful. I didn't actually hear it, but she spoke for a little bit, and then she was silent for I think 6.5 minutes, which was the time that the
shooter
the killer
was active.
Yeah, and everybody was saying that it was very powerful and this and that. Yeah, so I don't know.
Did you know that in an active shooter situation, you only have 13 seconds to take cover?
You know what's crazy is
13 seconds.
As a teacher, I actually think about these things.
Yeah.
Like, what would I do to keep us safe?
Yeah.
One thing that I was telling you that I'm actually glad we're doing now. So at Highland, we have a big attendance problem as far as like, we're in the middle of like the city, right? There's things around us. Our campus is pretty big. It's easy for kids to just leave, and Walmart is right next door, so they'll go to Walmart and hang out.
Yeah.
Or they'll go to the Diamond Shamrock or whatever, Valero.
There's a lot of businesses around you to where kids could sit
Central's
down and
right
just
there.
go.
There's a bus line. They could do all kinds of different things. So they have attendance issues, and they'll either not come to class at all, or they'll come to class really late. So we changed our policy to when the bell rings, we close our doors and lock them to encourage. I need to put her back.
Okay. Kids are fun. Yeah, let's do a parenting pause. We'll be right back.
That song's really pretty.
Yeah, Jeff is always doing
Yeah. I use Jeff's SoundCloud for all of our music, and that song is called San Bernardino. And it's a really sweet song, and it makes me think about my sweet daughter.
He's yelling at you.
Even though she is very needy right now. I'm going to let her back in, I guess.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you, Jeff, for the amazing music. It's always helpful. And if you guys need, like, if you're doing your own podcast or you're doing something that requires some background music, or, you know, maybe you're making a film or some kind of montage thing, or you're doing some kind of project, you should definitely consider talking to Jeff. I think that his music is amazing, and I think that it would be some good stuff for you to use, and I think he'd be very flattered. So consider it. If you need his information, it's Jeff Omidvaron, and he does custom music. He does all kinds of stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I know Highland is doing a locking of the doors kind of thing when kids are late for school or they're late for class and the bell rings. They're locking the doors, which I think is a good safety precaution. It's interesting. Like, it's hard to tell at this point what you should do as an educator, what you should do as a student in situations like that.
Right.
You know, you have to have a plan.
Mm-hmm. So the policy is if they're late, I lock the door. My door's always locked, but in between passing periods, I just have it propped.
Yeah.
And I actually feel a little bit better, a little bit safer, that it's easier for my door to be closed and locked right away. In order for me to lock my door, I have to go outside of the room, get my keys out, lock it,
And then go back in.
So, it's also pretty sad that I have to think about that, though.
Yeah.
But
it's reality at this day and age. I mean, obviously, with what's going on, like, we can't not think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unfortunate, but we have to think about it.
Yeah. And I feel pretty lucky because I'm in the science building, and we have lots of storage, and every storage door is permanently locked, and I can get in pretty quickly. And,
have you had any backlash at school with students or anybody after the recent shootings? Has there been any threat or anything like that?
No. In the first semester, one of the kids threatened jokingly, and I know him because I know it was jokingly. In fact, he's in my after-school program now. And so he was suspended and taken out of school. I mean, he not with the regular hours. Now he sees me after school. He can't come during normal hours.
Yeah. Well, it's like, why would you even joke? I mean,
Yeah.
I get that teenagers don't think, but, like, you can't joke about stuff like that.
Yeah. Not really any backlash or anything. Like, I feel like the teachers are pretty focused on, trying to teach. And there's a couple of teachers who are very conservative, who are pro-guns and everything like that. And then there's a couple of teachers that are very, very, very liberal, who want to, basically ban guns completely. But I don't know, they're not super outspoken with the kids or anything. We have facilitated discussions, and every time I do it, I just kind of, like, there was supposed to be a walkout last week, I think. And instead of doing a walkout, we decided, or the students, okay.
Just finish your thought.
Students decided to do a sit-in instead for safety. The students decided. And we did that, and the kids, I was like, well, if you guys want to talk about this now, we can. The students actually took over the intercom, and they read the names of the students who died in the shooting in Florida. And that was really powerful. Like, I was just listening to the names, the kids reading it off. And the kids, some of the kids took it seriously and talked. Other kids were like, oh, it's time to get out of class, and they left. They left because they had the option to walk out if they wanted to. Most of the kids sat and discussed, but there was a couple who just didn't really care, and they just left. But I don't know. It's just an interesting time that these things are happening in front of our face, and we're super divided about it. I don't know. That's one thing that's been kind of my, I guess you can say, mantra, is balance.
Yeah, I think balance is a good one for everybody.
In our country right now, we lack balance completely.
Absolutely.
It's either this or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, there's no compromise. There's no discussion. It's just, I hate you. You disagree with me, and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, the walls are up for sure. Balance is a really good concept. I feel like there's so many areas of life where people right now even in this time in life and the age that we are, like, lack balance. I think it's something you can always strive for, and it's a good thing to strive for it. But I see that all over the place, even with like, there's like a lot of fads going around right now, health wise, diets and health fads. And I know we've touched on a few of them here, but even that stuff, I just feel like as a woman, that stuff lacks balance. You know, I got off Facebook recently, partially because I'm just tired of being bombarded with like these.
You can't have an opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, and if you say something, even if it's like not ill-mannered, or you're trying to just say, you know, good for you, but I don't agree with that, you get tackled. And it's petty. Facebook is petty anyway, but I'm tired of people trying to sell me essential oils. I'm tired of people trying to sell me leggings, sell me lipstick, sell me everything, because I'm just tired. You know, like, I'm tired of all these intense opinions about things. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm like, you guys, there is a fine balance to everything. And it's not even about the object that people are selling or the opinion that they have. It's that it's so ill-weighted.
Yeah.
And it gets old. It gets old and it gets frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's not a lot of tolerance for people that don't agree with you.
And I was feeling this the other day. I felt really sad the other day, because I don't really fit. I'm too, I guess, liberal for like the church groups, and I'm not liberal enough for like the other people. You know what I mean? Like
Well, it's hard to have a faith and be in the middle and have that balance, because in church culture in the United States today, it's hard to do. It's difficult.
Yeah.
You get labeled.
I'm developing a lot of ideas that are just very much looked against or not widely held.
Yeah.
In an evangelical church, that the whole church, the church capital C that we belong to, I guess, you know what I mean?
It's sad that church has become a place where you can't have a conversation. And I shouldn't say that. It's not like that at all churches, because I know some people at our church that can have a conversation and that do. But the majority of the perspective and the shift is like, if you say anything that is outside of the box or the realm of the popular way of thought, or that might shake the ground a little, or even if you're just asking a question that might be a little bit unorthodox because you're genuinely curious, it's hard to ask those questions, because people don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to discuss things that are ugly, or that they don't know the answers to, or that they don't necessarily agree with, or they haven't thought through. But that's exactly it. A community, whether it's a church community, a faith community, a regular, like, you know, civilian community, like a neighborhood, you should be able to ask the tough questions and have a conversation.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid just choosing people to hang out with that I agree with.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
then there's no progress. Like, if you hang out with people you disagree with, then, you know, you can have a discussion, you can find out where that balance is, and you can learn from each other. If you're just hanging out with people that agree with you all the time, then I feel like that's when people start becoming more extreme in their thoughts and their views.
Well, there's no opposition and there's no conversation, because there's no difference.
But it's so tempting to just, you want to be around those people who, I guess you can say, are like-minded.
Because it makes you comfortable.
It's super comfortable. And it's not comfortable at all to hang out with somebody who feels like, yes, abortion is wrong, but so is sex before marriage, and we should just teach abstinence only, and birth control is a sin, and this and that. I'm like, that makes me go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I believe scientifically abortion is bad. We're stopping life. I teach my kids about meiosis and cell division and DNA, and this stuff is pretty, like, scientifically, I'm like, okay, abortion, not a good thing. Life is ending. I don't like this. It's way more complicated than that. I get it. There's so many situations that women are in, and
But have a conversation.
Yeah. See, and that's one example. My opinion on abortion, nobody likes me. The right doesn't like me because I feel like birth control is a good thing. The left doesn't like me because I'm a man speaking on a woman's I'm a man.
Well, it takes a man and a woman to make a baby. So.
I have no say in this. So,
which is a totally skewed
yeah.
perception that society has created, because it takes a man and a woman to create life and to create a baby.
Yeah.
And so it should be equally as responsible on both sides. I mean, I get that it's the female's body, but it's also like biologically that's the way it is. It's not like the man is putting that on the female all the time. Like I know, I'm right there with you.
But like it's every topic, every issue, I just don't fit. You know what I mean? Like how I read the Bible, I don't fit. I have struggled with evolution for a long time. I've taken evolution classes to disprove evolution. I've read Richard Dawkins' books to just point out how dumb it was. Which look at how prideful I am. You know what I mean? Like I'm reading a book. I know nothing about the topic, and I'm going to debunk an established scientist on a topic.
But that's exactly it. That's the scientific method, and you're doing that in your learning, and that's not a bad thing.
Right.
You're testing something, you're seeing if it holds up.
Yeah.
We should all be doing that.
And
with everything.
And now, go ahead.
The point is, when you already have your mind made up, you're not going to grow.
Right.
You have to be open to being willing to grow. And that's where I think a lot of people, both liberal and conservative, have issues, because it's like they are at a point where they do not feel like they are open to grow one way or the other.
They just won't hear it.
Right, but they don't want to hear it, and they've already decided that they're not going to. Like, okay, I'm going to use this example. Some people are going to get probably very angry with me. I don't care. You can get angry if you want. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it and have a conversation, please. Something that's been on my mind a lot is the topic of essential oils. And I know it's a stupid, petty thing to talk about, but it's a good example of what we're talking about right now. There are people that are so indoctrinated with these beliefs that these companies are telling them. They're reading material that is produced by these companies to sell these oils, because it is a business, and no business is in it to help you personally. They're in it for money. They are a business. Their job is to make money. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your well-being. They care about money, because they are a business. And what helps businesses grow? Money. So I am getting a little frustrated lately with hearing about, oh, this essential oil does this. Oh, this essential oil cures this. Great. You know what? I think they smell good. I think if that's what you're into and you really want to smell good and you want to give it a try, go ahead. But be open to research that is not given to you or fed to you by a business. Because there is a lot of stuff out there, and I'm not going to say the company because it will offend some people, but there is a lot of stuff out there that is contrary in people's character and in the way things are done and the scientific research for these things, that people that are so involved and indoctrinated in that stuff, they refuse to read it. And I'm like, if I was going to sell something or suggest things to my friends because I care about my friends, I would want to read both sides of the argument so that I know what I'm doing. It's almost cult-like, and I'm sorry to say that. And I have friends that are very into essential oils, and I love my friends. But it's hard because I cannot talk to them about this stuff without them getting super offended. And I say, well, have you read the research on this? And the guard goes up. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept it from me. And they don't want to read it for themselves. And we can't even have a conversation. And that goes for anything. It's like, you should be able to have an open conversation with people and be willing to grow and willing to look at actual facts and go, okay, maybe I was wrong. Okay, maybe that doesn't make sense. Oh, maybe that does make sense. And talk about it.
Yeah.
But we have gone past the point of talking. And that's the frustrating part. People just want to rally in these little groups and these little cliques, and they want to be a part of something and be around people that are like-minded, because it makes them feel good and it makes them feel like they belong somewhere. And it's way more comfortable to belong somewhere than it is to be on the outside. And so they're willing to accept total BS sometimes because they want to belong.
Right.
And I'm not in that spot, and I don't think you are either. And it's really frustrating because I don't want to agree with somebody just to belong.
Right. I feel like every deeply held belief should be challenged, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're if you have a deeply held belief, like, and it's weird because the oils I feel like are a very deeply held belief, like they're held really closely, because I don't know.
Well, you're right. And the thing is, there's a whole culture around that specifically. And, different diet pills and keto diet. And, there's cultures around everything. But it is almost like
beer
a belief.
culture?
Yeah. It is almost like a belief system in place. And it's interesting because I see this essential oil movement happening. And I see it targeting women in the Christian community especially. Because it appeals to them.
My mom bought into it for a little bit. I don't think she's buying them anymore, but...
Yeah. But it's like, the thing that's frustrating is like, if I were to approach it differently, like, maybe these oils are becoming a little bit of an idol to you. Maybe you're putting a lot of faith in something that is not mystical and magical. It's just a thing. And if you are really like a Christian, then your faith needs to be put elsewhere, not in this oil company, because they're not going to solve things for you.
Yeah.
But I can't say that because there is so much pushback and people get offended and they take it as I'm attacking their personal character, which I'm not.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely.
But if somebody told them like, oh, you should really, put, the Bible's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And if they were saying it about the Bible, they would defend the Bible. But
yeah.
I'm like, these are essential oils, guys.
You were showing me the video where it was basically telling them to be evangelists for the oils. Like you can talk about oils if in any conversation.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit weird, but anyway,
but it's like
it's
I
scary.
don't know how that doesn't give red flags to people.
It's scary for me because I'm a science educator and I've only been for 2 years. Okay, I'm gonna go bananas.
You're gonna go bananas.
We have kids.
Bananas Foster. Bananas are fine as long as there's a little bit of booze involved. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me, guys. Lorenzo thinks I'm really loud when I sneeze, and he's probably right. But yeah, no, I think that goes for anything. That goes for any fad, any diet, any leggings that you want to buy from a company that are very zealous about their leggings, any diet product, something that's pitched at you, any kind of belief system or thought system or model that is indoctrinating you into believing something and not just believing it, but having an entire community of values and stuff around it, you should definitely question and you should definitely wonder why, and you should definitely critically think it through. That's all I'm saying. I know a lot of very, very good women, very amazing women that are doing this stuff. And I so badly want to be able to talk to them and tell them like, these oils aren't going to save your life. They're not going to change your life. They're just oils. You could say the same thing to somebody who goes out and parties every weekend, Going out every weekend is not going to change your life. Drinking every night is not going to change your life. It's just alcohol. Having that nice house is not going to change your life. It's just a house. I think it's where you place your value, But you have to critically think and ask questions. And
yeah. We're figuring this out. And I think it's just good to be nice to people. Just to be kind to people. Even if you disagree with them. And that's one thing I'm learning. Like I said, I want to be with people who I agree with all the time, but that's not like the best thing. I'm learning. I'm spending a lot more time reflecting on my own ideas. You know what I mean? I reflect a lot about my faith because I want to make sure that I believe the right things. I want to make sure I'm not
open to growth, and that's good.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to be part of something just because I am. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to
just to fit.
Yeah. So,
it's weird because I feel like you and I are both on the same page where like we are okay being the weirdos. Like I am okay being the minority in a group of people that agree with one thing.
Yeah.
I'm okay saying, hey, what about this? I'm not so sure because I want to learn. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
But it feels good to be around people who are weird like you though. I don't know. For me, it does. Like
it's refreshing.
It feels good to be around people who you agree with. Sometimes I'll listen to the Liturgist podcast, and for a while there, I was not I was being really challenged listening to it. It was hard for me to listen to it because they are very, very liberal. Science Mike and Michael Gungor.
Gungor. I feel like that's a battle cry.
Very,
Gungor.
might have been. Their views are very extreme, in
Makes
my
me
opinion.
think of Genghis Khan.
Their views are very, very extreme, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
when I hear them speak, I'm like, I'm not sure if I can buy that. But I'll listen to it. And they added 2 new hosts. I can't remember their names, a woman and a man.
Oh, is it because she's a woman you can't remember her name?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, Michael Gungor.
Because she's a woman, she doesn't
But-
have a name.
But they actually added a lot of really good balance to the podcast. And they still talk about challenging issues for people who grew up in the church. And it's a good podcast. And I just, a lot of times I want to hang out with people who are more on that extreme versus the other extreme. Like, we spend a lot of time with the other extreme.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't know.
But I think the key is balance. Mm-hmm. And you can there's nothing wrong with spending time with people that are like-minded, but it's when it is all consuming and you don't have any perspective on the other side that you lose touch.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good reminder. You need to have balance in your life.
Right.
You need to challenge yourself, challenge your thought process. I actually put on my Instagram last night, it's funny that we're talking about this.
The Mark Twain thing?
Yeah, I put a Mark Twain quote on here just because it reminds me. I sometimes put quotes on here that I really enjoy. So it's a Mark Twain quote. And yes, Mark Twain was an atheist, guys. Oh my gosh. Get over it.
Right.
Funny man, though. We actually have the same personality type, so maybe that's why I like him so much. But
How do you know?
because I've taken the test several times, and he's a ENFP as well. The quote is, "Whenever you find that you are on the side of the majority, it is time to reform." And I think that that's very wise, because that should tell you something. If you're always on the side of the majority, or even if you're always with like-minded people, you should probably think about your own thought process and find yourself some balance somewhere. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, good. I don't know.
Well, that was intense.
We went from a super, super boring conversation about our marriage to hot button topics. I don't know how that happened, but
Natural progression of life,
Yeah.
friend.
so one thing I do hope that happens on this podcast is when our kids or whoever decides to listen to this, I hope that they don't automatically judge us, I guess.
I hope they do.
No, one thing I'm doing a lot of the times is I'm thinking out loud and trying to sort out how to act and how to feel, what to say out loud. Like, I do that out loud. Like, I found out this last week that the term ghetto is not a really nice term. It's labeling people. It's kind of like you like if you see somebody who's Hispanic.
You can't just throw it into a conversation like
Right, you can't.
casual.
Well, it's almost the
descriptor.
same thing as saying like, oh, that person's illegal. Like a person, like you can't label a person like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like that person's ghetto. Like, it's kind of a, I don't know. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You know, and I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. I'm figuring things out. People are very touchy today. The term racism is being thrown around a lot. And I think maybe it's true in a lot of cases. Some cases, maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, I'm thinking out loud. I'm sorting things out. I don't know. This podcast is a way for me to kind of do that.
That's fine. I just wanted to say to our kids, Luke and Riley and Juliet, guys, if you're listening to this, I don't know how old you are when you're hearing this. I don't know what part of life you're in right now. But I want you to know that we love you, and I want you to know that we are not perfect. And it's okay if you're not perfect either.
What's wrong?
I'm going to cry. I don't know why.
Is it because you're talking to your kids in the future?
Yeah, kind of. We are not perfect, and I don't want you to ever think that we have it all figured out. And even if you don't have it all figured out, we still love you. And we want you to figure things out on your own, and to think and to be brave and smart and to always ask questions. I know that there are times when my parents didn't encourage that, and I felt like my parents didn't understand. But I want you to know right now that you're allowed to make mistakes and we still love you. And that we are not perfect. And we don't expect you to be perfect either. I remember asking my mom a long time ago about how old she was when she got married and how old I was. When that happened, I think I was like 12. And I did the math and I realized that...
Wait, you did math?
Shut up.
Just kidding.
And I realized that my mom, your Nammy, was pregnant with me when she was married. And I remember thinking that...
You knew there was some sort of moral issue there.
Yeah, because I was being taught one thing, but then the history was something different. And I remember being devastated because I thought that everything that I had been taught was a lie. Because my parents never told me that they weren't perfect. And I started to realize later that my parents they're just human beings. They're just people and they make mistakes. Just like you're going to make mistakes and just like Daddy and I have made mistakes. And I just want you to know that we love you no matter what the mistakes are.
Yeah.
I just want that on record so someday when I'm dead, you can hear me say it.
I think our imperfections shine.
Yeah.
We are very much awful people.
And now I'm bawling.
It's okay. Yeah, so hopefully, our kids can, learn on their own. They can do the right thing. I do want to be a good example for them, showing them what the right thing is to do. But yeah, giving them that room to make mistakes and things like
grow.
that. Yeah. So, yeah. Should we end it here?
We probably should wrap it up because I'm like a hot mess now.
Are you listed at anything?
I am. Let me just find it really quick in between wiping my face off. Gosh, I'm such a sucker, you guys. I don't cry a lot, but I don't know. I've been listening to Starlight by Jai Wolf. The new Wyclef Jean, because he's coming to Albuquerque and I want to go, but tickets are like $70. So that's kind of, I don't know if that's going to happen. It's a little pricey. I mean, I love it, but it's a little pricey. And then let me find the other one. Where did I go? I've been listening to Adam and the Ants a lot, which is really funny. Side note, Luke, when you first kicked me in my stomach, when you were in my stomach and I was pregnant with you, I was listening to Adam and the Ants. So I knew then that you loved rock and roll because you always have, even in the womb. Yeah. He kicked me. I was listening to Adam and the Ants, and so I was listening to it again recently, and I was like, oh, yep.
Now he will tell Google Home to play Danger, Danger, High Voltage.
Oh my gosh.
He
We're
loves
such
that
terrible
song.
Parents,
He hasn't seen the video. The video's funny, but not appropriate for kids. He also loves the Conquest.
Oh, by the White Stripes.
White Stripes. I don't know what the name of the song is.
It's
but
Conquest.
Conquest.
By the White Stripes, yeah.
He'll ask Google to play Conquest by White Stripes. He loves it.
Dude, he loves rock and roll, that kid.
He does.
He's a rocker for sure.
Yeah.
He always has been.
Yeah. One thing I've been doing to kind of relax when I get home is I'll put on, we have a record player. We have a couple of records. What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World. I think your brother gave that to you.
He did for Christmas a couple years ago. Yeah.
And it's a really good record.
With the Decemberists.
Yeah, the Decemberists. It's
Super
really
good.
Really good. So I've been listening to that, and I've also kind of I've kind of been backsliding.
Backsliding.
If you want to use a Christianese term, on some pop punk.
Oh no.
And I found.
Okay, and there goes my mug. Dang it. What a day.
That's okay. I'll clean it up. I'll finish up in a second.
Julie, I busted my mug. In case you're listening to this, I might need a new one.
She needs a new one.
She made it for me.
Oh, she did?
In Seattle, yeah.
I've been listening to Wander, and the band is called Wander, but it's spelled W and it's a V-N-D-E-R. The V is supposed to be an A, I guess. Album artwork is pretty cool. It's like a little guy hiking in the forest, but he has antlers. It's a little bit weird. He has a little pocket knife and feathers. And
that's really funny because I ordered some stuff for Jules and Riley for my jewelry business. Shameless plug. And I ordered these little charms it's like a mountain and a pine tree. It's really cool.
Oh, cool.
That's what it reminds me of.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to that. It's kind of pop punky. If you're not into pop punk, don't listen to it. But if you are, it's good. And then also Alkaline Trio. I got back into this album called Crimson by Alkaline Trio. Came out in like 2005. It's just stinking awesome.
Can I give a shout out real quick?
Sure.
So I sell jewelry at a coffee shop, but there's this other girl that does too, and her stuff is incredible. She's very I Heart New Mexico. Her necklaces are little New Mexico state charms. They're awesome. They're hammered, handmade. It is called Root and Feather. So if you're looking for something really cool, she makes amazing handmade jewelry, really cool stuff. Root and Feather. Check her out.
Good for you. Plugging your competition.
You know what? I don't look at it as competition. I look at it as friendship and inspiration. So you can just...
There you go.
Yeah. I don't compete with other women. I like to empower them.
It's also nice to encounter people who enjoy New Mexico because when you live here, you get to know a lot of people who hate it. Either they're born here and they feel like they're stuck here. They use that term land of entrapment.
I'm so sick of hearing that, by the way. I'm like, dude, come up
or
with something
people
else.
people who are passing through who like it here but have to go, or good friends who grew up here and they actually leave. Like people are always passing through, and not a lot of people you come in contact with actually enjoy it. But we are starting to see a turnaround in that. Like there's a lot of people who are here because they want to and they choose to be here. And
I'm actually,
but we're guilty of that too. Like there's a while we were trapped here, and now I think we're starting to get to the point where we're choosing to be here. Maybe
we get to be here. No, I'm having coffee with the girl from Root and Feather this week, and I'm excited because we have a lot in common. We both are happy to be here. We're both part of the local art community, and we want to support each other in that. And so I'm like, dude, I'm all for it. Like, the more people that love New Mexico that want to be here and want to make it better, let's have coffee. Let's hang out. Yeah. So yeah, if you're ever in town, if you're ever in New Mexico, I would love to hang out with you. Speaking of,
yeah,
we'll take you for coffee. Hit us up.
There you go. Well, it's been a good Sunday morning. It's only 8:48 in the morning now. We can have breakfast, and we can check church off of our list of being good little Christians. So
you're terrible.
But I'm still not going to believe in the literal Genesis. So there you have it.
Okay. Well,
it's a literature story.
Okay, I feel like that's another podcast for another time.
Evolution is real. Have fun.
Jeez. Have a good Sunday, everybody.
Okay, let's cue the music.
Yes, before Lorenzo gets off on another tangent.
Yeah, all right. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.
You sending that to Julie?